A call to order this regular meeting of the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee. This meeting is being broadcast live on the City of Keene YouTube channel. The video is also posted on the city website by the end of the next business day, barring any technical difficulties. Copies of the printed agendas are available in the wall pockets just as you enter the meeting room. The public and other city councilors will be recognized to ask questions and make comments on the agenda item under discussion. After being recognized, all remarks will be made through the chair. I will not recognize an individual a second time until everyone who wishes has had a chance to speak. Anyone who wishes to address the committee is asked to go to one of the microphones in the room, identify themselves by name and address prior to speaking. Written comments from the public will be accepted at the city clerk's office until Tuesday at 1 p.m. We now call to order this regular meeting and declare a quorum present. And we have a request to participate remotely, and it's from Councilor Remy. And the request did not provide 24-hour notice that is required under the Rules of Order. It'll be necessary that the committee suspend Section 4 of the Rules of Order to allow Councilor Remy to participate remotely. I guess we'll start over there. Just Councilor Lake for a motion.
Move to suspend the rules of order.
And I second.
Okay, and so we're going to have to do roll calls for all of this. Roll call, vote. Councilor?
Yes.
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 All right, so that's unanimous. Councilor Remy, please state your name and the reason for your remote participation and wherever you are, if there's anyone else in the room with you. Oh, hopefully his audio works. There he is. You can read him.
Yeah, we tell him we can't hear him. Nope.
I'll go talk to the control room. I don't believe the audio issue is fixed. I think he needs to call in.
Right, yeah.
No.
The number is on the phone.
Is the phone there?
Yes. So 603
Okay.
757.
Mike Remy, I guess the audio issue is not fixed, so if you can call in 603-757
1895.
1895. Let's see if we can get you audio. Face. No, you gotta answer.
Answer it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You there?
Hey, Remy?
Yep,
All right.
I'm making sure I don't duplicate audio. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Mike Remy, I'm here home alone, and I do not feel well and did not want to get all of you guys sick.
Appreciate it.
I'm just down the road.
All right, thank you. Actually, it doesn't call for a second vote. Is there supposed to be?
The consensus is fine.
All right. Does everybody agree? We'll let them talk to us?
Sure.
All right, you're good. All right, so the minute takers participating remotely, and committee members, be sure to turn on your microphones when speaking, and if the minute taker is unable to hear, they'll be asking you to speak louder or turn on the microphone. So we have a few items on our agenda this evening, and the first item is Spectrum Service Update, and this was Councilor Filio's letter. Did you want to kick off for a second or two?
Randy Filio, Keene City Council. I will say since a little over a month ago, 6 weeks ago, whenever last time we met, obviously the issues with Spectrum have not completely cleared up yet, and I think some of the constituents here will probably confirm that. But I will say, excuse me, the communication that I've had with them has gone very well. Whenever a constituent gets a hold of me, email or text, and lets me know they had an issue, I forward the issue to Spectrum, and they have gotten back to me immediately saying, acknowledging they received the email and they're looking into it. So the communication has gone very well, and I believe they'll be here tonight, or as they are here tonight, to address what they've done and what needs to be done in the future. And with that, the ball game's theirs.
Thank you. So we do have several folks here from Spectrum who'd like to give us an update of what's going on. a number of folks from around the city and maybe across the city lines to other places where they've had some issues in the past, or maybe there are new issues. So when they're finished with their presentation, if you wish to speak or repeat the same issues that you may be facing or new issues, please come on up to the microphone. So go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. And I just first want to start by thanking the council and our customers again for the opportunity to be here, allowing us to get our arms around this and fix any network issues and work closely with all of you in the city of Keene. So when we left our last meeting 6 weeks ago, there were a couple of areas of opportunity that we took that we felt were larger than others. And some of that was around video tiling, pixelation within customers' homes, channel issues with providers like Nesson with big New England sports teams playing, and FETV, which is Channel 47 in Keene. We put together an action plan very quickly post the meeting, starting with additional resources on the engineering side. So we allocated 2 additional engineers that have been working in the Keene area on top of already having 2 people here. And they've been working overnights. So they've been working in our maintenance window from midnight on and addressing things like tiling and pixelation and going through some of the areas that we received examples on. Part of our action plan was to also set up recordings. So we took our own DVR boxes and set them up in our office in Keene, which is right down the block, as well as employees' homes that live within the Keene system to try to duplicate some of the issues that our customers have been telling us they've had. In some cases, we have been successful in tracking down some of those issues. Something I do want to talk about in this moment is that the Nesson issue was an actual channel issue from the provider. We worked with ourselves and Comcast on this because they received the same type of issue over the broadcast. We've gone out to a few people that aren't here tonight, but some of the folks that were in the area who reported those issues on a regular basis have said they've gotten tremendously better. We're not going to give up on staying with our partnership with Nesson. We still own the end delivery. Even if it is a channel problem, it's our responsibility to escalate that back to get fixed. In addition to that, we've been working with our hub site. So there was a lot of conversation around the Keene hub site. We've made sure that we have additional cooling units in there because we do understand that there was a failure based on air conditioning prior to our first meeting. That has been rectified, and we're also looking at a long-term solution of further enhancements to that hub site to make sure that it becomes bigger and better for our consumers and the council. Looking at some of the other tactics that in going out to people's homes, and I'm going to leave their names out of this just from a customer standpoint. We did find things that were some equipment issues that were solely on us that we did end up replacing and repairing. Some of our customers that we did visit had some issues in their home that were related to their own equipment. So specifically, we had a customer here that reported speeds that they were not getting the proper speeds in their home. They have a home switch that they've installed themselves. We showed them the delivery of our speeds, and they're sticking with their switch for now, but we've done some other enhancements in the area to try to help out the whole situation. All the customers that we met with from the prior meeting have our direct contact information. They do not need to call into customer service. They have a direct line to a leader who's here in the Keene area and who's been helpful in addressing their issues. I know I spoke with him again this evening, and I've been speaking with him over the past 6 weeks, and he has been in constant contact with the people that have made specific complaints, as well as working with our technicians to learn any other new items that may be happening in the area. One other piece I just want to note here is that we have done some overall network upgrades. So we've gone out and we found things like connectors that needed to be hardline connectors that needed to be replaced due to water damage from storms that have come through. We're continuing that effort. So we're not giving up on just starting the process. We're going to continue to run through every piece of infrastructure, all of our nodes and we believe will be done by the balance of this year to make sure that we're receiving really good results to our customers. We talked a little bit about our power supply program last time. That equipment is still on target to be here within the first 2 months of the 2023, and that is going to allow us even closer monitoring for small pocket outages, which we believe will help us address things before customers on a large scale even begin to start noticing an issue. So I've said a lot. I'm going to pause for a moment for any questions from the council or any questions from any of the customers in the room.
So on demand and half of the numbered channels, 1 to 99, do not work.
So I have not received that specifically. My team is here tonight taking notes, and we'll send you. We'll look into that, and if we have any clarifying questions, we'll get a hold of you.
Okay. Is there a game on tonight?
There is a game on tonight.
Bruins are on tonight.
Oh, boy, better work. All right, go ahead. Did you have some more? All right. Any members of the public wish to speak at this point? Okay, it's yours.
Thank you. Rebecca Landry. I am an assistant city manager and also communications and marketing director. I help with and provide support for the franchise agreement. I'll try to speak louder. Okay. So if you can hear me in the control room, please turn up the speakers for the audience. So I provide support for the franchise agreement and monitor that over the years of the agreement and help with the renewal process and that sort of thing. I am in contact with Spectrum representatives on a regular basis. One of the things that we've had a problem with is we know that we're receiving complaints from the public regarding the very difficult audio problems with our city meeting broadcasts. So some people are not able to watch the meetings at all because the audio is just garbled so bad that it's indecipherable. And so that's something that I hope that can go on the list here for things we have talked about it over the last couple of years and not come to any type of resolution. So I look forward to making some progress on that with Spectrum. In addition to the customer issues that they're having, that should be added to the list. I would ask the gentleman here to define, when you say hub site upgrades, to define what you mean by long-term. What is the term specifically? And then I wanted to also mention there are people who are not calling in. So it's one thing to deal with the issues as people call in, but I hope that over time you'll be able to do some QA and QC for the system in general. Thank you.
May I? So just to start with the city council actual building issue with the audio. So prior to this meeting, I did get an opportunity to talk with Rebecca briefly. I have a supervisor and an enterprise manager who are going to assist with that process. Regardless if it falls under equipment or not, we're going to find a middle ground on how we get this corrected for everybody. And you have our commitment that we'll continue to work through that as a good partner with Charter and the city council. The next piece around the hub sites, I shared some timelines with you all around the air conditioning changes and some of the things that we've done on an immediate basis. I can't share any of the longer term plans just due to our confidential nature. Those things can't be shared at this time, but as things start to change and complete, we'll share it in a private matter with the council, and if there's something that we think is relevant to bring up to a broader audience, we will. In terms of the actual people who aren't calling in, I think that goes to all the network folks that we have out there. So we're not just going out there to correct, we're going out there to monitor. And part of monitoring is learning around these areas what we're seeing from transmit power and actual noise in the infrastructure. And we think that by doing that, we'll be able to address issues well before people have an issue. For the people who do call in, we did hear in the last go around that there was very long wait times, and I reached out to the care partners within Charter, and they've assured me that the resources are appropriate and that all of the call volume is being answered within Charter specifications, which is under 1 minute of hold time, and specifically this Keene area has been half of that. So we're going to continue to get better as Charter. We're going to continue to listen to everything you guys are saying and take that in, and I look forward to the continued partnership as we learn more and grow together.
Questions? Here. Anybody else in the audience that'd like to speak? Rebecca, again.
Thank you. I also noted that you mentioned you have someone locally who is able to respond now, which is great, and that they have a local phone number. Would you please share it for everybody so they can have that?
So we will share, so I think there's some folks in the room here that we've been able to give that information to. I'm not going to broadly broadcast somebody's phone number, but if we do have people that want to talk to us after, we can get their information and he will do an outreach to them and we'll figure out how we do that. For one person, it's not sustainable to cover an entire market. I don't think he'd be able to do his real job. But for people that we feel need specific attention or there's chronic issues going on in their home, we'll make sure we have that information. And as always, if the city council gets an escalation and it comes to myself or my peer Melinda, we will take those on ourselves and we'll make sure that the people get a contact from either us or somebody on our team immediately.
So I happen to be one of the customers that is having problems, and I've relayed it through Counselor Filio, and you'll probably leave while I'm still sitting up here, and I won't have the opportunity to get your number. So if you could pass it on to him for me when you're leaving?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
So, kind of based upon what you've been able to report and the comments from the audience today, and perhaps you've gotten other calls since the last meeting to cover some of them, I would say some progress is being made, but, you know, there's a lot to be done. Understandably, it's tough for you to get a number of things done. It's supply chain, I'm sure, is giving you gray hair. So I think that our approach is to see you again next month and talk further. And anybody who has a problem, the message to the general public that's out there watching this evening, if you've got problems, to call it in. That's the only way you're going to know.
Correct. We don't want to break the process. So we have a customer service unit that has specific troubleshooting process. They'll handle those calls. And if there are things that are not being addressed and they feel like they're chronic issues and it gets to the council, then you guys have the direct line into us and we'd be happy to assist. I will be here next month for the next meeting. I will continue to attend the meetings until you have my commitment. I'll attend the meetings until we get all this resolved.
I appreciate that. Yes, please.
Janet, excuse me, Janet Lincoln. Can you hear me? In my travels, I've talked with several people, and I came up with them telling me there was a gentleman here at the first meeting who spoke on behalf of 3 units in West Keene, housing units, Park Place, Park Wood, and Colonial Village. I was told by a person that I felt was qualified to give this information out, and they said that there is some barrier that they can't cross. And my question to you is it Spectrum's policy, or is it not the nursing home, the apartment complexes that do not allow you to go in and service these people? They are in great number, combining all 3 of these together. And that leaves, and I don't see that gentleman here tonight, so I'm speaking on his behalf.
So we did have information on Park Avenue, which was one of the sites, and we were able to do some work out there where we replaced an optical connector. We've checked in with the residents and have had nothing but good feedback since. We'll follow up with them again to make sure that we're not missing anything. Typically in housing apartment complexes, there is what we call a demarc. We run our service up to a certain point, and then they have maintenance rooms or control rooms that sometimes we're not able to gain access to. I don't want to speak or speculate that from this situation, because from what I have in my notes, we are resolved there and still talking with the customers who live there. But we will make an outreach tomorrow morning and make sure that if there is something open, that we start to address it again.
Then you are allowed to go into these apartments and service them.
So specifically, I think I'd have to take it on a case-by-case basis. I know the one that we have here for Park, that we were able to enter the person's home to do an analysis and some work. I have not been told by anything else that there's any restrictions. So we'll make an outreach to the gentleman that lives there. I have his name and number in my notes, and we'll make sure that we, if there is any barrier, that we get our arms around it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Janet.
Okay, so I guess we're moving down the road on our plan. Look forward to seeing you next month. What? We do have another speaker, so.
Hi, my name is Maxine Phelps, and I'm at Century Apartments. And for some reason, 1 month, I never got a bill from Spectrum. So I went to the Keene office, and the lady there looked at me and she said, "This is entirely your fault. You knew you were supposed to have a bill, and if you don't pay us your back payment, we will shut your television off." Is this how you treat your customers?
First, I apologize for that. If in that conversation, no one should speak to any customer or anyone like that for that matter. What I can tell you today is I'd be happy to work on that with you. I'll take your information, and we'll be happy to work on any billing issues that you've had. And I sincerely apologize on behalf of Spectrum if that was your experience. It shouldn't be that way. I'm sitting here tonight to prove to everybody that we don't operate in that manner and that we are here to have a great relationship with the city of Keene and the residents of Keene. And I will look into who you met with, if it's documented, and we'll give specific feedback to that agent.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay. You got your work cut out for you. Thank you very much. We have a motion.
Do you want me to take it again?
Oh, no, I don't.
Don't fight, boys, don't fight.
Forgot what order we were in.
Move to accept the Spectrum service update as informational.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Councilor Lake, yes. Councilor Madison, yes.
Counselor Powers, yes.
Councilor Remy, yes.
Counselor Chadbourne, yes.
It's unanimous. Thank you. Second item. I don't see your name, but you may come up, sir. Good evening.
Oh, I have to hold it down? Oh, now it's on, okay. Good evening, I'm Lieutenant Shane Maxfield. I'm the Special Services Commander with the Keene Police Department. Each year, the New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency offers grants to communities throughout the state of New Hampshire, and the purpose of these grants is to reduce the severity and the frequency of motor vehicle accidents within the state. They do this by providing funding for supplementary patrol hours that are specifically focused on driver safety issues such as driving while intoxicated, seatbelt use, speeding, distracted driving, and car versus pedestrian encounters and that sort of thing. The time period for this particular grant runs from October 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2023, and is in the amount of $14,516.40.
Any questions? Let's see, any other, no other counselors out there? Any public with a question, comment? Seeing none. Motion?
The Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee moves to recommend that the city manager be authorized. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the one on, excuse me. Be authorized to do all things necessary to accept and expend the grant from the New Hampshire Highway Safety Agency to fund Highway Safety Grant -Keene.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion by members of the committee? Seeing none. Roll call.
Councilor Lake, yes. Councilor Madison, yes.
Counselor Powers, yes.
Councilor Remy, yes.
Counselor Chadbourne, yes.
Unanimous. Thank you. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you.
Mr. Bohannon.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee, Andy Bohannon, There we go. Sorry. Members of the committee, Andy Bohannon, Parks Recreation Facilities Director. So before you tonight is a request for the city council to recommend that the city manager sign a letter of intent for Land, Water, and Conservation Fund grant application, grant round 33. If you recall, recently in grant round 31, we received $400,000 for the Russell Park. And because of the way we had our budget, we were able to match, and within our budget, we still have room to provide an additional match. And the reason why I'm applying for this is because of our overage that we had through materials and construction after we bid the project and the escalation from COVID-19. So trying to reduce that overage that we had, would look to add another $400,000 into this to help offset that and get the project complete with the bocce court that was left out of the project when we were reducing our costs. In addition to the Russell Park request for the $400,000, I'd be requesting an additional $250,000 for a separate project with the skate park. I apologize, I should have brought this up before, but